we executed a great game plan. We competed our butts off. We just had an amazing competitive spirit to us. So hopefully we can build on it, grow from it. It's over with. Although it feels good, it has absolutely nothing with today, with our day of preparation, moving forward to a big one Saturday. Obviously Saturday is a rivalry game. It's a cherry out, which I know we've been kind of blasting on social media, and we're trying to sell it out. We, as of now, we just checked, we're a little over 12,000. So we're trying to get to that number of 15,000. I believe we will, and it'll be an awesome experience. And since I took the job, it's been, we got to pack the pit. Well, Saturday should be a great opportunity to do that. And we've got to lock in certainly on just today and have a great day of practice.
How much of last year do you guys address?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. It has nothing to do with it. They have 2 players back from last year's team. They got a new coach. Excuse me, get emotional just thinking about it. So no, we don't discuss it at all.
What about the idea of protect our home court, protect the pit, and what happened at the end of last year? Not game plan and X's and O's wise.
Well, I told them because I knew you'd ask, and I discussed what the answer should be. But honestly, I don't tell teams how to ask or how to act when they beat us. I don't do that. I totally focus on our team and my job. I try very, very hard in my whole life to not focus on things I can't control. What we could control was executing better at the end of last year. So we've talked a lot about that. But how a team acts when they beat us, I'm not going to coach their team. So there's a lot of new players. There's, now the emotions of a rivalry game, certainly we want to discuss. But how a team responds when they beat us, if you don't want somebody to do something like that, don't let them beat you. That's the way I look at it. So we just go from there. So I try very hard to put together the game plan so that it doesn't happen again. And but we try to win every game. It doesn't matter if it's home. It doesn't matter if it's on the road. We try to take all the emotion out of it and just focus on what we can control.
Coach, you said you're willing to talk to them about discussing about a rivalry game. What have you told them, and as far as your knowledge of this rivalry and stuff like that, what have you tried to pass on to them so they'll know what this is?
Well, I haven't talked to him today because we had off yesterday, and we'll practice this afternoon. But as I said before, I really try not to focus on making any game bigger than it is. I think at the end of the day, it's great for the fans, it's great for our state, but other than that, I just try to go win the first possession and then see where we go from there and try not to be as outcome oriented as I possibly can. But it's the fun of college basketball, it's the fun of sports, playing in rivalries. So I talk to them more about how do you not let the emotion in the moment get too much of you to where you can't perform at your highest level, more so than anything else. So we had some entertaining games last year. At their place, that was an entertaining game, even at our place. Fun game. So it's unique. I don't know how many teams there are that play twice in the non-conference in the country. There's not a lot of them. So that makes it very, very unique. It'll be a little bit better this year. The back-to-back last year I didn't love a whole lot, so it'll be a little bit more, make a little more sense schedule-wise.
And what it was like for you after that SMU game, because, social media, people could get at you and talk to you because the Lobo fans have been going crazy. I know on my end, they've been like, oh man, I've been getting calls and people are super excited about what they saw.
Well, I don't live in the world of social media. I don't really read my mentions. I don't do any of that. And that's not to say that I don't appreciate when somebody tweets something nice. That is a different world, in my opinion, than what reality is. I don't think that's reality. I think that is a hypersensitive world that we all think is reality, when in reality it's not. It's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is. So if I had it my way, there would be no social media. I think all of our lives would be easier if there was no social media. But one step at a time. I mean, I beat SMU, we're not going to go to social media. But so I don't live in that world. Now it's hard with young people because that's a drug. That is a drug. And as like Nick Saban said, that's rat poison, right? So I always tell our guys it's harder to deal with success than it is failure in a lot of ways, because they're going to be feeling really good about themselves because they played great, and they should feel good about themselves because they did play great, and they played a complete game. But it's all fleeting, So they're not going to hear that message from me that they've arrived. So if anybody's talking about us, I appreciate it very much. I'm grateful for the kind words, but I treat praise like I treat criticism.
So you were real pleased with the defense, and you used like something about filling the gaps or something like that. You were pleased with that. Like, what exactly is that?
Well, I think that we put an emphasis, certainly, and we always have, of being more aggressive on the ball. But SMU, very good one-on-one players, so we were a little bit more aggressive, one pass away. And I don't think it was a whole huge change by any means, but we were just a little bit more aggressive, one pass away, and shrinking the gaps. Because we got to use our speed better defensively, and because we don't have great length on the perimeter. So we did a good job keeping the ball out of the paint. Paint touches are huge, and we got some steals, and we're able to get on the break. I thought we were phenomenal on the break. I mean, phenomenal. Our bigs were running so hard. We got to find them more. We were absolutely lethal when we got out. So in order to do that, you got to get steals and you got to get stops.
As far as New Mexico State goes, DeShondre Washington is a guy that it's easy enough to make the Hunter Maldonado comparison. I want to know if that's just a lazy comparison because he happens to be 6'7" and playing point for them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's some similarities for sure. Very, very talented player. Hunter is obviously a great player as well. So they've got a lot of new faces. It's a totally different team. He's certainly very, very talented. Pinson's talented. They're athletic. Whenever you play a team who has a week off, you're always a little bit concerned because you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get a lot early in the season. But he's a big guard and he's talented. And, so it's not a bad comparison at all.
Is Javante a guy that, it seems natural he would be a guy that might get that matchup a lot?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. It's we've got to be kind of prepared for a little bit of everything. So we'll work on the next 2 days and kind of see how it looks and then kind of make a decision from there.
What do you think about what you've seen so far from the Aggies? You kind of hit on it. You said they're talented and all that stuff.
Yeah, good team. Obviously new coach, new coaching staff, a lot of new players. So it's obviously last game didn't really go their way, but UTEP got us last year too. So they'll be ready to go. And they've had a little time off. We have not. We played Tuesday and then traveled back Wednesday, and so now we got to do our very, very best to flush whatever that was the other day. Although it was great, that's got nothing to do with today's practice. So it'll be a challenge. New Mexico State, doesn't matter where, when, whatever, it's going to be a challenge.
What did UTEP do that was so successful?
They're really aggressive defensively.
Yeah.
They did it to us last year too.
Yeah.
So I think UTEP's. I think their coach does a really, really good job.
Yeah.
So they made us look bad at times with their pressure and their aggressiveness. Yeah. We don't play exactly like them. So it's just one game. You look at it, you evaluate it, and see does it coincide with the way that you play or not. So other than that, I don't know. I can't speak a whole lot of UTEP.
In order to prepare for this game, not only you looking at New Mexico State tape this year, but you're going back and looking perhaps at all the last year when Coach High was at the JUCO there in Florida, and then they were winning a lot of games, and you look at
not a whole. It's harder to find the film on all that stuff.
Yes,
so
yeah.
You take what you got this year, and go. Like I said, it's not even. It's hard to even watch last year's games because so many of those guys aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Texas game last night. Rice's on Texas. So totally different game. So you take kind of what you have this year and go from it.
Yeah. What about the games that Coach High coached at JUCO? I mean, at the Florida school last year. I mean, you're watching videos
I haven't
to
watched
finally
much
get
of it.
watch,
Yeah, I
to
mean,
get ideas for the scheme they're going to run and things like that.
I take the film from this year.
Yep.
More than anything. I mean, I think it's. I know he's a great coach, won a lot of games. So just take that and kind of roll with it.
Coach, I don't want to go too Henry Tafoya on you here, but there's certain games where when you play well, like you did on the road against a decent team, that you beat them by 21 points, it gets people's attention.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since this building's been sold out. And you have seen chatter the last few days about maybe getting fans back. How big was that win the other night, and what did that mean to this program as a whole?
Well, we got to get momentum back. So it helps with that. Although I try not to live in that world, fans live in that world, right? I mean, the way that we played, and if you watch that, that can build some momentum for Saturday. I always believe in order to get the fans back, the games are the key. Not that barnstorming throughout the state isn't big and, getting out and shaking hands and kissing babies and doing all that. The games are what really matter. And I think if you've watched all 3 games, you see the potential. You see that our guys play hard, they compete. They're really good guys. They're really good representatives of the basketball program, the community. So they're an easy group to cheer for. Plus now, that performance got people talking, which is great. Because we all want to play back in front of a sold-out pit. That's why I took the job. That's why every player that comes here, we say it over and over again, but that's why they come here. They come here because they know the community cares about Lobo basketball. Well, the last 8 years, it's gone away a little bit. Now, is it a pandemic? Is it that we weren't very good? I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably a little bit of everything. You can't discount a 100-year pandemic. So now that that's hopefully gone and hopefully we've got a good team, we can get the town buzzing again about Lobo basketball. So Saturday, selling it out, yeah, that'd be a right step in the right direction, but we want to get to a point where we're selling everything out. Now that's obviously in the landscape of college basketball. It's not always going to happen always in non-conference games, but you only have so many league games where those things are so important. So hopefully Saturday's one of those and one of many.
You mentioned some people took notice, obviously, and you also mentioned the rat poison of social media. Have you ever asked your dad to get off social media?
What's amazing about my dad, and amazing about you, because you always say, I'm not going to mention your dad, and you do it every press conference, but nevertheless, he doesn't read social media. So you read it like 9 billion times a day. He has somebody tweet for him, so he has no idea. What a liberating thing. I wish I had, what to do that. So I have lectured him many a times about tweets, how to tweet. He doesn't know how to tag, which is just disgraceful that whoever's tweeting for him doesn't know how to do that. So I have educated him for sure, and he should listen to me because I'm a lot smarter at it than he is.
He's really trying to hype you guys up, though.
He is, yes. He's got a little Lou Holtz in him.
Jalen is kind of been on another level so far through 3 games. I know the sample size is small, but this is sort of what you talked about in the offseason when you said you want to rein him in some, but you don't, whatever the saying was about you rather rein in a Mustang than.
I'd rather tone down a Bronco than warm up a corpse.
There we go. Is he
one of my favorites?
Is he doing so far through 3 games what you had hoped he could become? I mean, is this what you'd hoped?
Somewhat. What I'm trying to prepare him for. Now he has another year. He could come back. Will he? I don't know. But I'm doing my very, very best to help him showcase himself in a positive light so the professional scouts look at him and say, I want him to be on my team. And he's got to let the talent do the talking. He's got to celebrate less because I told him the other day, I said, if you're picked up by the Golden State Warriors, you're not acting that way in year 1. You're not. So I'm trying to help you. I want to showcase you in the best possible light so that your talent does the talking. But you are very, very energetic and you like to get the crowd involved. And so I don't want to take that all away from him. Stop talking to the refs. He's gotten much, much better at that. So it's really not for me. I'm trying to help him to be a little bit less distracted. Just focus on in between the lines and just film a commercial of yourself. Every time you're out there, we should always be talking about how hard you play and how dynamic you are and not necessarily about the other stuff. And I think it's gotten a lot better. So I do think he's improving.
Coach, as far as your front court, you know, like last year, you were trying to do different things to get something out of it. And this has a total different look with Morris and Josiah. I mean, how has that been for you? Has it been a big relief to see these guys be able to go in there and do what?
Well, it's nice to have some options. You know, last year we were really one-dimensional. This year we're more of a complete team. Does it mean that we're going to win every game? No, it does not. We're going to have to take what every game gives us and adjust and evaluate and see where it all goes. But the goal, I thought last game was really good in the sense of what we had 4 players in double digits. KJ was close maybe. That's more of a balanced attack. So there's got to be 5 options at all times. And the way that you do that is you do it through recruiting and then you do it through coaching. They're both very, very important. And so we addressed a lot of needs, but now it's a matter of growing as the season goes on with whatever's thrown in front of us. So front court did a great job. They worked their butts off, and we got to continue to play inside out.
5 options at all times. Javante hasn't really got it going yet. Is
He
that
rebounded the ball well.
Okay.
Yeah, offensively he has not gotten it going, but he had 7 rebounds last game, I think,
okay?
which needs to be commended. Which sometimes you're not going to score a lot of points. Now, love to get him shooting that ball a little bit better. I think he's gotten some open looks. So yeah, that's something we'll just continue to work on. But what I told him before last game is the offense will come, but you're one of the best athletes on the team. You're in great shape. You're physical. You got to be the best defender. You got to be the best rebounder. Focus on those things. The shots will come. So I thought he played well. Like him to see him make a couple more shots. I know he would too.
And injury-wise, anybody?
Everybody's good. Yeah, everybody's good.
Is Emmanuel Watch ready to get minutes
He's
yet?
not ready yet. No, I told him that. He's just not there yet.
Okay.
So could I play him 3 minutes? Probably. I just want to see him. He's still favoring that a little bit. So he's available, but not 100%. All right?
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.